George Kilpatrick, Inspiration for the Nation, celebrating people we feel good about. Syracuse Stage has a new play coming. It's called Espejos, Clean. And it's a bilingual play directed by Melissa Crespo. The play is actually coming from Hartford, Connecticut, and it'll be at Syracuse Stage officially starting on February 17th, but it'll begin for real, on February 15th, where you can enjoy previews. So, Melissa, first, welcome to Inspiration for the Nation. And tell me about how this bilingual play will actually happen. And I know you want to give me props for pronouncing it right. So thank you.
No, I literally was like, oh, yes, with the Latin pronunciation correctly with the Spanish. Good job.
I grew up in the Bronx. I can't help it.
Okay, I see you. Yeah, you got it. So, espejos means mirrors. And if you don't know that, and then clean. And so, I was introduced to the play back in 2021. I was approached by Theater Aspen to direct a reading of it in their Solo Flights Festival. And it's not a solo show, it's two women in it, but it sort of functions like two one-person shows in one until the characters meet. And then all these fun adventures happen. And so I fell in love with the play. And the actors, Emma Ramos and Kate Abertzes, they were in the reading, and they also happen to be friends of mine and collaborators from other things from before. And I pitched it to the folks at Syracuse Stage. I'm the associate artistic director there. And then I have, I'm friends with Melia Ben-Susan, who's the artistic director at Hartford Stage. And I thought, hey, you speak Spanish. There's a huge Latina population in Hartford as well as Syracuse. There's a lot of Spanish speakers there. And I thought, hey, want to do a co-production? And so both theaters said yes, and here we are. And we just opened in Hartford this past Friday. The show's running there until February 5th. And then it literally goes into a truck. The actors get in their cars, and everybody, along with the set and the costumes and everything, come here to Syracuse, and we'll put the exact same show here in Syracuse Stage, and then it runs.
So tell us, so when we say it's a bilingual play, so we'll be hearing the character speaks in Spanish, but not translating, or how does that work?
Yeah, so Emma's character, her name is Adriana or Adriana in English, and she primarily speaks in Spanish. And so when she's speaking in Spanish, we have super titles on the set in English. And then when the other character, who happens to be from Vancouver, speaks in English, then super titles in Spanish appear.
Love it.
Yeah, so literally you can come not knowing either language and see the whole thing. And but also we have a beautiful projection design going on, and so some of those super titles are kind of weaved into the visual storytelling of the play. And both actors are phenomenal, so you can really follow along with what's happening based on their acting. And so it's a pretty fun experience.
And I mean, I know people make a big deal out of it being bilingual, but have you been to the opera?
Exactly. and I love that, like platforms like Netflix, and there's so much television and movies from all over the world that we now have access to, that are winning awards and are just, and there's other theater companies they're doing theater in other languages, and so we're not the first to do it, and it's just exciting that it's coming to Syracuse, and people are loving it so far in Hartford, so it'll be great.
That makes a big difference. Talking to Melissa Crespo, the show is called Espejos, Clean. And official opening date is February the 17th, but previews beginning February the 15th, and it sounds like a really fun experience. Let's delve into your background as associate artistic director and how you came to be that at Syracuse Stage.
Yeah, so I'm actually from Connecticut. I was born and raised in Stamford, and my mother was also born there, and then my grandparents, her mom is from Chile, and then
Hmm.
my grandpa came here from Puerto Rico,
Hmm.
and then my dad immigrated here from the Dominican Republic. So I'm a big mix of Latin America.
Right, right. Right.
Yeah.
You got pateles, you got guandule,
A
you
bit
got everything going.
mofongo,
Yes, 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 yes.
And then what's really funny is my birthday is also the same day as Mexico's Independence Day, September
Right,
16th. So I'm like an honorary Mexican
right, right.
because
That's
the Espejos Clean takes place in Cancun, Mexico.
Cancun. And
It takes, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say a place I had the honor of visiting for the first time this year or last year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
So if it takes place on a resort and there's always a fun tension between the people that work at a resort and the tourists visiting. And of course, when you're on vacation, especially for a wedding, which the Canadian character is there for her sister's wedding, and then the Mexican character happens to work there. There's always like weddings are so stressful, and then it rains, and rain ruins weddings. And whenever you're working, even especially at a resort, no one likes the rain, and so it makes all these things happen. So it's really, really fun. And so I actually first directed at Syracuse Stage in 2019 for this play called Native Gardens.
Hmm.
And it was a comedy, and it was so fun, and I had such a fun time and got along with everyone so well that they kept inviting me back to direct here. And then eventually, when Kyle Bass, who was our associate artistic director and is now our resident playwright, when he decided he wanted to transition to that new title, they thought, hey, what about Melissa? So here I am.
What's it like to direct on the theater and the stage?
Oh, I love it. I've been a professional director now for almost 20 years, and it's still fun. So I'm never bored at my job because every play is different and has its different challenges and demands. They're like puzzles that I have to solve.
Hmm.
And I love that I get to hire the design team and the actors and all the different personalities that have to come together to make this shared project. And it's a real thrill. And it's why I do it, because it's hard. But yeah, I've been doing it now for a while, and especially, the more you do something, the better you get at it. So with age, it's getting easier and easier.
And how do you decide to be in front or in back of the actors? I want to say the front of the camera, but it's live theater, so no. Well, there may be a camera, but not necessarily. Yeah.
So I used to be an actor as a kid, and I went into college thinking that I was going to act for the rest of my life, and it just wasn't acting's really hard. I have the utmost respect for actors. I bow down to them. We would, theater wouldn't exist without them. And once I found directing, I thought, oh, this is so much better, because my brain and my capacity to sort of just be a coordinator and an inspirer to get, actors to figure out how to tell the story was just a better fit. And so I've never looked back.
And after opening night, or you're giving notes to the previews. Do you give more notes after opening night, or you're done?
Oh no, I'm not allowed to.
After that, so after previews,
Yeah.
you're done. Like, so your work, when that show opens on Friday the 17th, your work
Yeah.
is you are done, huh? So you
Yeah,
can't
so
say anything about anything at that point?
not really. So
Really?
the fun thing about previews, which I love, is that, I get to experience the show with the audience watching it. And because that's really when you can know if something's working or not. And then the
Right.
next day we go back into rehearsal and I can give notes. But then once the show opens, we say the show is frozen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then the stage manager is now in charge, and I leave. I go away. And
Good.
and the stage manager has to maintain my vision. So if the
Okay.
actors decide that they want to, like, say something different or do something different, the stage manager says, okay, no, we rehearsed this and you have to do this. And it also protects the actors, because if the director was allowed to keep going, then they would never end. They would never really know what the show is.
Yeah, interesting, right? Right.
Yeah. And you want to sort of, as an actor, you want to know what you're going to expect, and you want to be able to perfect your craft and your role and all of that. And so that's something that they can like depend on throughout the run of the show.
All right. The show is called Espejos, Clean. It's a bilingual play directed by Melissa Crespo, and it opens for previews on February 15th and runs through March 5th, and tickets at SyracuseStage.org. And for more information, you can call their box office 315-443-4276. And that is a wrap for this conversation, unless you have anything else you want to add, Melissa.
Oh, I just want people to know that it has something for everyone. It has really deep moments. It's funny. You cry a little bit, you laugh a little bit. So everyone's going to get something really great out of it. So thank you for having me on your show.
Melissa, I look forward to seeing Espejos Clean February 17th. Official opening night, February 15th, previews, March 5th is the run of the show. Thank you so much, and good luck with the show. Break a leg, as they say.
Thank you.
In the theater. Inspiration for the nation.